In July 1518, a woman named Frau Troffea walked into a street in Strasbourg and started dancing. Nobody asked her to. No music was playing. She just started, and she couldn't stop. She danced through the night, into the next day. Her feet were bleeding. She was exhausted, and she kept dancing. Within a week, 34 people had joined her. Within a month, it was 400. Dancing in the streets, day and night. No music, no reason, just movement they couldn't control. Dozens of them died, from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer exhaustion. This actually happened. It's in the historical record, and nobody has ever fully explained it. To understand why this happened, you need to know what life looked like in Strasbourg in 1518. It was bad. The city was in the middle of a famine. Disease was everywhere. People were dying from plague, smallpox, and syphilis. The population was starving, exhausted, and desperate. These weren't people living comfortable lives who suddenly lost their minds. These were people already at the absolute edge. When Frau Troffea started dancing, the city authorities didn't know what to do. Their first instinct was to let it run its course. They actually hired musicians and built a stage. Thinking if people were going to dance, they might as well do it properly and get it out of their system. That made it worse. More people joined. The dancing spread. Doctors at the time blamed hot blood. They thought the dancers had too much heat in their bodies, and dancing was the only way to release it. The church said it was divine punishment, or demonic possession. Modern researchers have come up with two main theories. The first is ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that grows on rye bread, which was the main food source for poor people in medieval Europe. When ingested, ergot can cause hallucinations, convulsions, and involuntary muscle spasms. It's the same fungus that's chemically related to LSD. It's a plausible explanation. Except ergot poisoning doesn't cause coordinated dancing. It causes seizures, burning sensations, and paralysis. The movements recorded in Strasbourg were described as actual dancing, rhythmic, sustained, and purposeful looking, not random convulsions. The second theory is mass psychogenic illness, what used to be called mass hysteria. This is when a psychological condition spreads through a group, like a contagion. One person shows symptoms, others see it, and their brains, under extreme stress, start producing the same symptoms. It's not faking. The movements are real. The suffering is real. But the cause is psychological, not physical. Mass psychogenic illness has been documented dozens of times throughout history, and it almost always happens in populations that are already under severe stress: poverty, famine, fear, trauma. Strasbourg in 1518 had all of it. What most people don't know is that this wasn't a one-off event. Dancing plagues had been recorded across Europe for centuries before 1518. In 1374, a similar outbreak swept through multiple cities along the Rhine River. In the 1200s, a group of children reportedly danced from Erfurt to Arnstadt, over 12 miles, before collapsing. The 1518 outbreak was just the most documented. And it didn't only happen in medieval Europe. In 1962, a laughing epidemic broke out in Tanzania. Students at a school started laughing uncontrollably and couldn't stop. It spread to other schools. Nearly 1,000 people were affected. Schools had to be shut down for months. In 2011, a small town in New York saw a group of teenage girls develop uncontrollable twitching and verbal outbursts, with no medical explanation ever found. These events keep happening. Different symptoms, different centuries, different cultures. Same pattern. Extreme stress, a trigger, and a condition that spreads person to person without any physical cause. The dancing plague of 1518 eventually stopped. How or why? Nobody knows. The records just go quiet. Frau Troffea, the woman who started it all, was reportedly taken to a shrine outside the city. Whether she recovered, nobody knows. What it tells us is something uncomfortable about the human mind. Under enough pressure, the brain can turn against the body. Stress can become physical. Fear can spread like a virus. And sometimes an entire population can lose control of itself, not because of a pathogen, not because of poison, but because being human in an unbearable situation can break something that medicine still doesn't fully understand. It happened in 1518. It happened in 1962. It happened in 2011. The conditions that caused it haven't gone away. See you next time.